Welcome to MYC Uncensored. You're here with Keshia and
Satini.
today we're going to be talking about, in theme with Women's Month this March, we're talking about jealousy, envy, and imposter syndrome while navigating through girlhood.
Yeah.
A very, very big topic, I would say. I think we're coming to the end of the month, so we're going to end on a good note.
Yes.
But yes, so I guess we'll dive right into it. I guess the first thing I felt like we should do is differentiate between each of them because I feel like they're similar but different.
Yeah.
And it's good to identify, especially if you have friends like that, if you're like that, it's good to identify. So what is jealousy? Jealousy, I guess, is when you're worried that someone's trying to take what you have. You know, you're jealous that someone, I don't know, is trying to take your man, for example.
Yes.
We hope that's not happening with you.
I was thinking of the example.
What's an example? Just a real life example. Anyway, and then on the other side, envy is what you want, what someone else has. So you want someone else's man. So you actively want it. Right, and you're actively going to try. You're not just worried, you're going to try to take their man. Keeping on that theme.
Jeez,
anyway, I don't know why I chose that. Anyway, and imposter syndrome, I think is a lot of what we struggle with in today's day and age. I do. And it's when someone's... this definition I actually saw on another podcast. Yeah. So if you want to chime in, let me know. But it's when someone's competence is higher than their actual competence. So someone might be good at something, but they may constantly doubt themselves. Yeah. And I feel like that's when they're like, oh, I actually feel like I'm not good at it. Even though they may be like good at may have a lot of skills, but they just may not feel like they're good at one thing, for example. Yeah. So that's the difference between each of them. I think, yeah, when people feel unqualified, I think it may take two turns. Like it may drive them to be better at something that they're not able to. But it may also just make them feel completely useless and worthless. And it's really hard to navigate, especially in friendships, I think, especially in girlhood, because it's very, very easy to compare ourselves in today's day and age. And it's like a consistent thing that happens. But it's something that we can't thrive off. It's something we can't, develop ourselves if we could keep comparing ourselves, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you are. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
but
it's okay.
I think also one of the main things when it comes to jealousy and envy, imposter syndrome, is, I guess, sometimes it's because of being insecure, right? Well, when I think of those things, that's one of the common factors of them is that some of us are insecure because we're either going through something and we lash out in these ways. And yeah, like you said, being like a young girl in society now, it's quite, I don't know, I think whether it is now or even before, it's something that everyone has dealt with in friendships because there's like those people where they genuinely are happy for you and then others just say it just to say it. Yeah.
Like a very superficial way. And I think it's really hard to differentiate between that, like who's your real friend and who's not. We have a podcast on that. Anyway, so I think even in today's day and age, even in the past, like it's really hard to differentiate, well, is someone telling the truth or someone just telling me because it'll make me feel better about myself? And I guess that's the beauty of life. The sad reality, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's really, it's easier said than done, but you really can't project your insecurities on someone else. And I think that's something you have to delve within yourself to understand, why am I acting this way? Oh, it's because of an insecurity. Well, how do I fix and deal with that insecurity instead of lashing it out on someone else?
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's important to deal with because it can lead to like friendship breakdowns. And a lot of times it does strain a lot of relationships and friendships as well, like with other female friends. And I think like the first thing I think is important to do is acknowledge that emotion, and acknowledge that, you know, you are insecure, you're feeling this way because, you know, of an existing insecurity. It may have been caused by something else, by your household, by another friend. But if we keep denying it, you know, it's just going to get worse. It's going to explode, and you're going to end up like lashing out at someone. And it's a normal feeling. It's normal to feel insecure. I think people who say they're not insecure and think they're the most perfect person in the whole wide world, they're lying. Like, they're
must
lying.
Be nice.
And they're usually the most insecure person.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, it's nothing wrong with, like, saying I'm insecure about something. Like, it's very normal. It's normal that we compare ourselves. We're only human, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's important to, identify that belief that you have, because the belief that you are insecure creates thoughts that, okay, I'm insecure, right? And I think it's important to change those beliefs in order to change your thoughts.
Oh, well said.
Damn.
No, literally, and even like with girlhood or just like friends in general, if you can find that courage and be like, and even speak to your friends and share that, hey, I am feeling insecure, or I am a little bit jealous that you going out with the cool smart guy or something, like, that's sometimes you can find, if your friends are real, when they will help you through that.
100%.
Like, you know, and find that understanding, like, okay, like, thank you for opening up. Like, how can I help you? Or what, you know, what should you, I don't know.
Like, you find a common ground, right? If they were a true friend, I think they'd understand where you're coming from. Instead of, I guess, being defensive about it, they'd listen, right?
Yeah, yes.
That's the important thing. I think friends who support, like, actually support you would listen. Friends who don't, you know, would clearly be defensive about it. And I think the first step is to, like, confront them about it. And I know it's hard, but it doesn't have to be anything aggressive. It can just be like, hey, I need to talk to you about something. You know, I'm feeling a certain way, and it's due to this, this, and this, right? And friends usually uplift each other. And I think that's what you have to keep at the core of your mind. Like, if you want to still be friends with this person, you need to find a common understanding. And, you know, if it comes to the point where you're like, okay, this jealousy or this envy is, like, taking over me and I can't control it, well, maybe you need to step back and be like, okay, I need to give this person space so I don't lash out on them. And, you know, is this something that can get in the way of your friendship? Is this something you can get past? And if it's not, like, maybe you need to rethink your friendship or relationship. If it is, then, like, kudos to you. I hope you can keep that friendship, because, you know, it's not something, you know, to break up a friendship over, unless you see that you need to. Yeah.
And I just want to stress, like, the importance overall is, like, it's beneficial for you and important to just have healthy relationships overall. And communication is an important factor of keeping these healthy relationships. Yeah, especially in situations like that. It's hard. Especially if you're someone that doesn't like confrontation.
100%.
Like, I'm kind of like
just
that.
Just write a letter. Like, write an email. I don't know. Like, it doesn't have to even be, like...
I'm kind of like that. Actually...
Or, like, send them a text. If you don't want to, like, do it in person, send them a text. Give them a call. Like, it doesn't have to be face-to-face. It would be better if it was face-to-face. But there are other ways to get around it. Even just be open. Be like, look, I'm finding it difficult to have this conversation face-to-face. Can I text you about something? You know, something like that.
No, yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think another thing, I guess when you're traveling through and, like, I guess realizing that you do feel jealous or envious of someone, or you do have that imposter syndrome, is to be accountable for it. So as well as acknowledging your emotion. I guess most issues in friendship arise with not knowing how to control your jealousy. And as I was saying before, I think controlling how you deal with your emotion, where it's coming from, where it's stemming from, is really important to have a flourishing and thriving friendship and relationship, because I think this can lead to, like, a lot of toxic habits, like talking behind people's backs.
Yes.
like copying others. I know some people are often like, you know, when they're jealous, they're like, oh, this person has it easier.
Yeah.
Right. And it's toxic. I know we've all been there.
Yeah.
And it's normal, but it's something you don't want to do. Right. It's going to exacerbate the situation.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't want to make other people unhappy as well as yourself. Right. You want to deal with it. And I think, like I said, I guess the ways to deal with it is to think about, you know, do you need to keep this distance from this person in order to create healthier habits for yourself before you go back and be like, before you're like, okay, I can put my time and energy into this person in a healthy way instead of in a jealous or envious way. And always being intentional with your actions, I think, like you were saying, you know, knowing when you're jealous and be open about it.
Yeah.
Because effective communication, like, is the core pillar of, like, all relationships and all friendships. And, again, if you do have a really true friend, they will support you. They will understand. They will be open to listen and sit down with you. And if they're not, well, look, maybe you should keep your distance from that person, right?
It doesn't hurt. I mean, obviously in that moment it'll hurt for you to like break that friendship. But like I've said in multiple other podcasts, everyone comes into your life for a reason. And each person that you interact with teaches you a lesson.
100%.
Whether you learn that now or you learn that in like 5 years looking back.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think, people... It's natural to compare ourselves to others, and people come and go. But I think it's really important to recognize and self-reflect when we do have those jealous and envious emotions, because it's not nice to lash out on someone, right? Like, you don't want to lash out on anyone, especially someone that you have a long-term friendship with or a relationship with. And I think it's important to take time and analyze your actions and think about, well, is this the type of person I want to be?
Yeah.
Is this the type of person I, you know, want to express to others and want others to see? And, yeah, just want to build a character of. And use, like, most of the time it's not. We don't want to be jealous or envious, but it just happens.
Yeah.
And imposter syndrome is, like, the biggest weakness of, I feel like, today's century, because I don't know, like, I feel like everyone just has it, and it's really difficult to deal with because you're like, I feel so crap at everything that I do, and I feel like I'm terrible at everything, especially when you're like, you're online and you're seeing like these same age people, like 20-year-olds or whatever, doing more extravagant things, like, I don't know, buying their first home or something. Like, I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. I still live with my parents. I'm sorry. But I'm saving money. Anyway.
Yeah.
At what cost, though? Anyway. But you know what I mean? And I think it's important to recognize that everyone's on their own journey. I think it's really hard to recognize that when you're looking at social media and comparing yourselves and you're like, I want to get the dream bot, I want to have the dream house, but like, you don't see the background of what people go through. You don't see their life, their day-to-day life. You probably just see like a 1-minute clip of their lives, and it's always the good parts of their lives. It's never like the blood, sweat, and tears they put into it. But like, that's everyone's journeys. That's what leads them up to a good life. It's the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into your life. And I think it's important to realize that every effort you make is going towards something. Whether it be something that you want, something that you dream of, a career that you want, you know, it's going towards something. And I think you need to realize everyone's on their own path. Everyone, you know, is working towards something one way or another. And every little accomplishment is your accomplishment. And some people won't have that. Some people will have better than that. Some people will be worse than that, you know? Like, we're all on our own journeys, and I think no one is like you. I think everyone's unique, and I think that's really important to remember. There is no two people alike. Even twins, they're different. They're different in their own way.
You're right.
And I think that's really important to remember. That no one is like you, and no one will have the same dreams and goals as you. You do it uniquely.
No,
I think.
literally. And like to even add on to how you said you only see like a 1 minute clip or something of some people's lives. And I just want to add like, yeah, even with friendships, you like even though you might be really really close, right? Still some friends don't share every detail about them, about their lives. Like I'm that type where like sorry. Like I have a close circle of friends where I'll tell a lot of things to them, but because of just the way I am, I like to keep some things to myself, and they probably will never ever know.
Yeah.
And that's because I choose what I share with them.
100%.
Yeah, does it make sense? So even though we're really close and we have that friendship, you won't know their full story.
100%.
You only maybe know, you never know, only 50% of.
Exactly. When it feels like 90% or 100%,
Yeah.
like
You'll
just
never
don't know.
you will never really know.
Yeah.
So I think just like remembering that everyone has their own experiences, they go through their own things. We're all individuals going through life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just don't compare yourselves. I think that's the worst like thing you can do. And it's very easy to do, but it's like our worst enemy.
Yeah.
Like I think comparison and comparing ourselves to others, especially on social media nowadays or TikTok or Instagram, it's so easy to do because you're like, wow, this person has such a great life, but you don't know what they went through, you know? And, you know, I think we also have to appreciate what we do have and the life that we do have now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think it's easy to compare yourself, you know, what you want to do in the future, but how did you get to where you are, you know? Like, as morbid as it sounds, some people don't make it to where you are sometimes. And I think sometimes we get lost in, like, the hustle and the comparison. Sorry, my voice cracked. Yeah. And we just forget to appreciate the little things, the little accomplishments, the little steps that we took to get to the life that we have now. And I guess that's the main takeaway. Appreciate what you have, how you got to where you are now. Be proud of yourself, you know? It's a long journey of life, and you'll come with a lot of struggles, a lot of comparisons, but getting through it is like the hardest thing. And you know, I think you guys should be proud of yourselves for getting to where you are, whatever stage you may be, wherever you want to go next, but just appreciate, you know, what it took to get you here.
And then I think thinking in a way that remembering that you comparing yourself to everyone else might stop you from being like them. Does that make sense? So if you want to be that content creator, like who's a content creator that you like? I don't know. Let's say.
Oh my god!
Damn, now I can't think. See,
no, I can't think
I'm trying to come up
either.
with an example, but
oh my god,
who is a content creator that? Oh, now I don't even know.
Oh, there's like so many.
I know, but for some reason they're not coming.
I've recently, it's kind of a weird one. I watched Sidemen. I don't know if everyone's heard of him.
Okay, that's it. We're going to have a whole new podcast now because now you just opened up something in me. But yeah, say if you watch the Sidemen and you love their work and stuff, because they went from living with each other in one house, now they're all multi-millionaires doing whatever they want. And if you're going to keep comparing yourself to them, you're never going to take those steps to get to where they are.
100%.
So you are your own enemy.
Yeah.
Right? Within that. So once you learn how to stop comparing, because it's obviously easier said than done, but once you stop comparing yourself, then you will actually take those steps
100%.
to get to where they are. Or wherever you need to be in life.
You got to break the vicious cycle in your head.
Literally, yes.
The vicious cycle of comparison. Because that's what truly stops you from doing anything.
Yeah.
And excelling at what you really want in life, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. I think comparison is a really dangerous enemy
for
a lot of us.
At this point, there's going to be a podcast episode on comparison.
Oh, 100%.
And you can go for ages.
It's like its own thing. And I think like girls nowadays, it's really hard because you're like, I don't know, girlhood has a lot of complexities to it. And so does manhood. But I think girlhood especially, I don't know, we're just more prone to comparing ourselves. I think men deal with it a little bit better than girls do because, you know,
I think just because in society overall, there's high standards set for women.
100%. Ever since like the old day and age, I think it's always been like that.
Yeah.
But there's just been such high expectations, especially I think for like culturally and linguistically diverse women.
Ooh.
I think it's just so hard to navigate life in a way that you think is right. But there's no right way, right?
Yeah.
Like, life is life, and like your life is different to someone else's life, and there's really no right way to live life. And I think you really learn from the mistakes, from the failures, from the comparisons that you do with other people. You learn from all those experiences, and you learn how to excel and find your passion in things that you want to do. I think so. I guess like comparing people does help you later in life. But don't actively do it. It does help you, but like don't actively do it.
Yeah. It gets to a point where it's like, okay, if it's really, really bad, then
100%.
that's not good. But if it's positive, then like it's okay. Like, oh yeah, I really wanna be like Beyonce or something. Let me start taking, I don't know, fitness class or singing lessons, dancing lessons. See, those are good things.
Yeah.
So. There is like pros and cons.
I agree. And I think one person's achievement doesn't like make you bad at life, right?
Oh yeah.
I think if anything we should I guess use it to fuel our passion for what we want to do, right? I think those achievements from other people are like congratulations to them. They excel at what they're passionate about. But you can do the same. Anyone can do the same. And I think that's something we have to realize. Like, it doesn't stop us. And it doesn't stop us from living our lives, right? One person's achievement is like, you know, good on them. They went through the hard work to get to where they are. And you can do the same. And I think that's something to remember.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you have any more tips?
I think one final note I think I would like to end on. And I wrote it down because I think it's important.
Yes. Let's hear it.
Okay. So, I don't know if this is a quote, but this is a quote from me. So I remember this. So I think we can't live our own lives while constantly living in someone else's shadow. And I think that's really important. I'm like a philosopher or whatever.
So then in the future books and references, they're like, yeah, Keshia.
Yeah, remember that, guys.
2024.
Use me in your Google Scholarly references. Anyway, that's it from me.
No, that's a really good point, yeah.
Yeah, do you have anything you want to end on?
No, I mean, it's just... Yeah, I think we've said everything in the podcast.
Honestly,
we could honestly do more episodes talking about this. So
yeah, let us know if you have any other ideas or stories or anything like that.
Yes, let us know your stories and experiences.
We would love to hear about it.
Of course.
Because I'm sure we relate to. It's very common.
Yes, a lot of us probably go through the same things. 100%. We just don't know. So
it's normal, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah. Don't worry. No, for sure. But yeah, on that note, like you said, if you have any questions and stuff, feel free to let us know. Our socials and stuff are in the description. And we'll see you another time.
Bye.
Bye.